Open up your mind. You will answer questions anytime. Feel the gravity.
Season and a record-setting performance for you. What does this moment mean?
I mean, it's been amazing being in this city for as short as I've been. But first and foremost, I just want to give all glory and praise to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I mean, it's been amazing.
Portland, Oregon. Yeah, they say this is a volcano 100 years ago, but this is crazy.
It's really steaming now. I don't smell anything. What smell like steam?
And look at this. Look how easy it is for me to chip away at the road. Look.
This is amazing, isn't it?
You guys, it's hot too. The ground is hot. You can. Look at this one's really kicking.
Yeah, that's bubble.
My signature, addictions on the rise, comedians check your temperature.
Yeah, he guilty. Yeah. I hadn't seen Ludacris on my For You page in all my time of being a content creator, and this the first time I see him. He done struck a nerve. Boy, Cat got him acting different. This man been driving cars and saving a day for the last 10 years, and now Cat in a minute start rapping.
Each day, New York's crowded streets are abundant with the sights, smells, and sounds that make the city so easily recognizable. But at night, something else scurries around the city streets. New York is known for its rats. Next to the pigeon, they are probably the closest thing the city has to a mascot.
They are fascinating. They are complex in their behavior. Other people obviously would think that they are disgusting, they're vermin.
People who move here from out of state are just not ready for the amount of rats that we have out and about.
New York City has long been considered one of the rattiest cities in America. Some estimate around 2 million rats call it home. While most New Yorkers have accepted rats as part of city life, they pose various health risks. And while government agencies work to manage the problem, some New Yorkers have taken it into their own hands.
I see rats that you don't, and they're going bananas here tonight.
Here is how New York City rats out its rodents.
Rats have been here since the city was founded. Rats have lived in the city. Rats have survived in the city by the law of large numbers.
Richard Reynolds and his team of rat-hunting canines have prowled the streets of New York City for nearly 30 years.
The dogs are trained to dispatch rats. They have jobs that they do. There are catch dogs that stand out away from the action and wait for rats to run. Then you have the push dogs that go into trash bags and other places and make the rats bolt to the catch dogs.
This dog right here, Rommel, he's a Yag Terrier, and basically what this dog does in the group is he sniffs him out, and he kind of like sets him up so the other dogs can knock him down, so to speak.
Well, you're going to see what looks like mayhem. It's actually very controlled mayhem and very well-planned mayhem.
Camera with me. Give me a camera. I need a camera over here. Over here. Right there. You guys ready? Here we go. Here we go. Party.
In New York City, the rat that we see is the Rattus norvegicus, commonly referred to as the Norway rat, but probably more accurately referred to as the brown rat.
These brown rats made their New York City debut in the mid-1700s. As ships would set sail for the colonies, rats would stow away on board and find a home in the New World.
What has made them so successful in New York City is that there's always been a dense population of people that have provided food and water for them. And given those essential needs for survival, they have done very well.
I'm delighted today for the first time to be able to have the Weather Channel have a look at what's happening for the first time in history, actually, in the high seas.
Thank you so much, Gillian. And we've got wonderful new technology here at the Weather Channel, and we are able to deliver a point forecast for the Arctic high seas. Temperatures will, for the most part, only get up into the negative 20s Celsius through the entire week.
On July 2nd, 2020, an arrest was made.
FBI agents arrested Ghislaine Maxwell yesterday, nearly 1 year to the day after Epstein was arrested.
All signs pointed to this particular incident being the story of our time.
I think a lot of people are wondering, the big question overall is, what does Ghislaine Maxwell know about what Jeffrey Epstein is alleged to have done?
Unfortunately, most of the public opinion in the U.S. is controlled by media corporations. So as soon as the coverage of Ghislaine's arrest ended, social media stopped discussing it, and the coronavirus took center stage.
The Dow is set to open about 15 seconds from now. It is expected to surge on positive coronavirus.
Trying to foil plots against the state of Israel, political plots and others.
You tell the story about how you tried to find out what they call the Mossad when they deal with publicly?
I thought it was a reasonable question, but the trouble is you can't pick up the phone book. There's no Langley in Israel that you can look up, CIA, or in our case, the Mossad. We thought we should ask, what shall we call it in English? Which can translate the Hebrew words, as I said, Mossad's Institute, but when they write a letter to their friends in the CIA or the British intelligence, what do they call themselves? It took a while. It was a matter of asking the Prime Minister's spokesman. The best you could do, because officially the Mossad is under the Prime Minister's office. And I think he sort of wondered why you want to know and all that, so we explained. And he came up with the Israeli Secret Intelligence Service. I mean, if it were to have initials, it would be ISIS. Just simple words like that. Interestingly enough, kind of a...
1, 2, 3.
cover the mass scandal by the content of that character.
Chaya no Cambaú, Anuri, no Camai, no Cauacá, na Anuri, no Iuiuá, na Warron, Xinambo, Panque, Tu Xinam, Chabau aqui, Xinamo Kikirani, Tsan, Chabai Kirani, Tsan, no Kikirani. Awama Wanana, Awama Wanana, Mauno Wai Sharai.
And I love your ears. Nice. I love them. They're really cool. What's your name?
Catherine.
Catherine, what a beautiful name. That's my mommy's name. Well, nice to see. How old are you, 17? 6. I do. I'm sorry.
Was it a lapse in judgment for him not to tell you earlier?
Yes.
This is not a Hollywood blockbuster. The planes crashing into these towers are real. And these buildings crashed to the ground, including one that wasn't hit by anything at all. The American population was terrorized, hypnotized, and traumatized by repetitive repetitive showings of the devastation, with the media repeating over and over that it was a terrorist attack.
Yeah. My confidence is up. I believe with all my soul. I could do anything that I put my heart into. I spend all of my time focused in the lab, coming up with these songs, mastering my craft, cause I'ma need that
pointless condensed.
So I'll tell you what, I've got a little job for you. Would you like to take this General Fix-It badge to my friend there, and then he can put it on himself? Okay then, and you'll do that. Over there. Come and sit back down here, please. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much.
Okay. And what can we say after such a super... The fella could get used to all this. As it happened to you, they could get used to it. So, ladies and gentlemen, all we can say is good night from all of us here at the top of the pops. And it's... Turn around, look at the ladies and gentlemen. I see this young lady, sir. She wishes that she could help you with one of your paintings. Good idea. Do you think I may leave her in your charge?
Safely leave her in my...
And I'm looking forward to getting a job when I'm 65. I'm going to be maybe a caretaker in a girls' school or something like that.
Puma called Fenty. I'm gonna show you the weird commercial and then get into why this is disturbing. Now that's a pretty strange and unsettling shoe advertisement, but it's about to get even darker. This here is Gio4BC, the designer for Rihanna's shoe collab with Puma. Rihanna can even be seen on 4BC's website wearing some of the designs. On Puma's website where they promote Rihanna's shoe, you will find they have designs for children. Now it's time to take a look at some of 4BC's Instagram posts, which seems to be getting scrubbed from the internet. You're about to find out why. Here's 4BC seen with his girlfriend Bianca. Check out the design on his tie. Where have we seen that before? Here are some symbols released by the FBI that child predators use. Check out this one. You might be thinking that's just a coincidence, but check out the caption that his girlfriend put on the photo. My P.O. babe. Another post from 4BC with the caption, choke. And of course it wouldn't be Hollywood in the fashion industry if it didn't involve a love for Satan, demons, and humans.
And that means that I am all in on making sure that we tell the story of climate change and what it's going to do to our lives if we don't act now.
Thank you, everyone. Governor DeSantis, I want to present to you this participation trophy. Now, probably not going to win the election, right? But we're proud of you for trying.
I don't do participation trophy. Sorry, buddy.
No, but, I mean,
sorry, buddy. Sorry.
He's special, he's unique, and he's our little snowflake. Thank you. Here you go. Did you want to take the glory?
Calm down, Doctor. Now's not the time for fear. That comes later.
So anyway, I told Barack, who's going to be the man of the house? And Barack said, I will. And then I said, bitch, you can't even open a pickle jar. So now I'm the man.
No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace.
I love the smell of that lighter fluid. Yeah, it's like I'm ready to have a barbecue.
First election I voted in was Trump's. I've never voted in a midterm. I've never voted.
What?
I have never voted in a midterm election. Ever.
All right.
Say that I've never voted in a primary. Ever.
Tell us that again.
Oh my gosh.
All right, so what we see here is someone voted in your name for a midterm primary, and then we've got 1, 2, 3 presidential elections. You're saying you did not vote in.
I can tell you,
and
I'm a bad. I can tell you, I'm a bad patriot. First time I got involved in politics was President Trump. That's my first presidential election. I have never voted in a midterm. I have never voted in another presidential election. This is all a lie.
So
I am so upset.
So we're looking at 2 presidential votes.
Arian was telling me about how the NFL is rigged and how every year he used to get a script.
Yeah.
Day one of training camp that would get dropped off at his locker. And you would have to, it was like week 1, you'll do this. Week 2, you're going to have a hamstring injury. Week 3, this is going to happen.
Yeah.
Week 4, you're going to get 3 touchdowns. And so then you just have to, did you memorize those before the season started? Or would you go and rehearse the script before every game?
We're really dedicated to it. So it was more so like, that's what practice was about. It was about practicing the script. Like, this is what goes on and this is what we have to do in order to,
And this referee is going to miss this call. Because they hate you and they love the Colts, that sort of thing.
WWF, so it's like, you know, we know what's going to happen, but you still got to put on a show.
Yeah.
What did you think when you got the script in 2016 that said your career was going to fall off a cliff when you stopped believing in God?
That was 2015.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why am I going to jail?
Let me show you.
What's
What's going to happen to your little ass in jail?
a Democratic or Republican idea.
These are not Democrat ideas or Republican ideas.
This is an American idea.
These are fundamentally American ideals.
Imagine they were driving a car and they drove it into the ditch.
If somebody has repeatedly crashed your car,
you can't have the keys back.
Do you want to turn over the keys to the same people who crashed it?
He said Russia in the 1980s are now calling to ask for their foreign policy back.
I have a newsflash. The USSR does not exist anymore.
You know, the Cold War's been over for 20 years.
It fell back in 1990.
A skinny guy with a funny name.
Who the heck is this skinny guy with a funny last name?
But they sense deep in their bones.
I believe deep in my bones.
E pluribus unum. Out of many, one. We are one people.
I have a dream that we can be one people again. I'm not going to read speeches written by others. What you're going to get from me is what's coming from the heart. My phone.
Please allow me to say how proud I am of the almost 25,000 National Guardsmen who have come in from all 50 states and territories to help support the Secret Service and the police departments with a peaceful transition of military power. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Thank you for that, sir.
The Greenland ice sheet affects ice sheet would increase the level of the oceans.
But you know, I don't think that that's the fundamental. I don't think the technology is the fundamental issue in democracy. Democracy is messy. I mean, you know, democracy is about contestation of ideas. It's about plurality. It's about people having different truths. Actually, now, fundamentally, how society lives together. Civically, in those contestations, is obviously quite tricky. But I think that if we play too much on this disinformation card, we're taking the responsibility away from ourselves to actually create a narrative that inspires people to vote and to believe, in democracy and democratic institutions. And on the institutional part, I think that we can talk about institutions as these abstract things, but institutions are also about people. Mm-hmm. And we just heard this point about untrustworthy people, and we talked about things in the United States like checks and balances, which aren't written anywhere but are customs. And one man, Donald Trump, literally came in and just took that all away. But when I see this, when I look at this, more globally regarding democracy, I also say to myself, when was this great time that everybody got along so well, and things were going so great? I mean, I think I think that we really have to be careful here in this nostalgia for a time past, because a lot of the reactions we're seeing in society are actually reactions to positive things like equality for women, and greater diversity.
To vote in your primary, it is crazy. You got to get that changed. We're going to take it. If we weren't popular, how do you win? Where everybody's allowed basically to come and vote. The enemy, which let's say in this case, until it's over, because the whole country is going to unify by its success. When we're successful, the country is going to be unified. We are going to unify our country through success. But right now, we don't want Democrats voting in the Republican primary, Sununu. Sununu ought to do that instead of walking around with Nikki Haley and her polls go down every day.
It's in the Sun of New York, Sunday, June the 6th, 1915. This is 18 years before Hitler ever set foot in the government. There it is, people. 6 million Jews. The New York Times, October the 18th, 1918. And the article is called $1 billion fund to rebuild Jewry. There it is. 6 million souls will need help to resume normal life when war is ended. The New York Times, September the 8th, 1919. And the article is called Ukrainian Jews Aim to Stop Pogroms. Mass meeting hears that 127,000 Jews have been killed and 6 million are in peril. In the New York Times, November the 12th, 1919. And have reduced to tragically unbelievable poverty, starvation and disease. About 6 million souls, or half the Jewish population of the earth. February 23rd, 1920. 6 million Jews. Friday, May the 7th, 1920. The Fund for Jewish War Sufferers in Central and Eastern Europe, where 6 millions face horrifying conditions of famine, disease and death. New York Times, Wednesday, July the 20th, 1921. 12 years before Adolf Hitler ever set foot in the government. Look at that. Russia's 6 million Jews are facing extermination by massacre. The Gazette, Montreal, December the 29th, 1931. And the article pretty much speaks up for itself. 6 million Jews faced...
It's all his fault that we're spending $6 billion in taxpayer money this month.
They took them off. I contend, I don't know, I can't tell you why, I contend too many kids were being located through those milk cartons. Your federal government doesn't want you to find these kids because your federal government, particularly the finders, the CIA organization out of Washington, D.C., is the biggest motivating factor behind the missing children in this country today. Why? Well, there's several reasons.
It is the totally stunning Getty Center, high above Brentwood, part of the Getty Museum, which is actually two separate museums, the Getty Villa and, of course, this, the Getty Center, built in 1997 at a cost of about $1.3 billion. They built this massive complex after J. Paul Getty actually began running out of space because he had collected so much art. He died in the 1970s, and sadly, he never even got to visit his own Getty Villa. But after his death, he left the J. Paul Getty Trust more than $500 million, and so planning began on this massive complex. Sitting on 110 acres. The buildings itself take up about 24 acres. You can see all the open space.
Maybe I'm not an American citizen. And some people said, he has a forged birth certificate. Well, first of all, it's true, I'm not American. I was not born in Hawaii. I wasn't born in the United States of America. I come from Kenya. And so I think people saw my election as proof, as testimony that our society has continued to become more and more naive. People say that...
You're okay. This one, real fucking ugly. Oh. You see, I take these glasses off, she looks like a regular person, doesn't she, huh? Put them back on, formaldehyde face. That's what we got.
That's enough out of you. You get out or I call the cops.
Call the cops? You know what you need? You need a Brazilian plastic surgeon.
Shadowy groups who won't expose themselves on message boards tell you what to do. And they continue to direct innocent people who believe they're working for the president to commit incredible crimes, like ramming a train over the rails and trying to attack a ship because they believe the global elitists are on board that ship with George Soros and Hillary Clinton and Lord Rothschild and the New World Order.
Where usually we have a plate of very decorative items. Like a buffet. Where are the lamb chops?
It's been a long and beautiful history, but an angel of the Lord appeared to humble shepherds and proclaim the reason for our Christmas joy. For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, which is Christ the Lord. Now, when I was listening to Robert, perhaps unknowingly you used the word Savior a lot, and our country needs a Savior right now, and our country has a Savior, and that's not me, that's somebody much higher up than me, much higher up. We just do what we have to do. But the life and death and resurrection of Jesus Christ forever changed the world.